we have here, what is falling down from the sky, which is the white gold. We have been out today skiing in fantastic conditions, and our aim from the beginning and our aim for next year is to actually to do this on snow together with you guys and hopefully several others. Thank you for joining us and participating in this journey, and I wish you a very, very pleasant day together with us. I give the microphone now to Carl, the third founder of this.
Thank you very much. First of all, the same. I think it's absolutely fantastic from the bottom of my heart that this is moving. And the movement is something that consists of so many dimensions. And that's exactly what Peace and Snow is doing. All the dimensions that you all represent from your different angles into this. So it's fantastic that you're on board. Thank you.
Thank you so much for these nice words. Before we start the whole session, we really would like to invite Ashok Patel, who is a doctor from the United States, and he will do the meditation for us before we go further with a speech from our new mayor of Davos.
Thank you, Hans Martin, and everyone. Welcome. I'm in Minnesota, which also has beautiful snow, but it's outside our buildings. And if I could share my screen, I'll just like to do this meditation quickly. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes,
Okay.
we can see it.
Okay, so this is basically to start. We want to try to just stay calm and be present for all of us. I have my Superman mask on and my goggles and my rotary tie, which has the world on it. So I hopefully feel connected, and I really would like the snow. What we're going to do is basically breathe in, and while we're breathing in, we say breathe in peace. And while we breathe out, we say breathe out love. So we just do this 3 times. And I'll start and you can do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. And the last one we'll do for about 10 seconds. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. Whenever you get lost in the chaos of the day, may you remember to breathe well, to be well, and try to stay calm. Thank you. Hans Martin, I'll turn it back over to you.
So back to Hans Martin.
Thank you so much, dear Ashok, for this nice meditation, for the entrance of this wonderful session. So nice to have you on board. I would like to give now the floor to our new mayor of Davos. He was elected just now, and he will be with us for the next 4 years period. And it's amazing to have him with us on this Peace and Snow event with on board for a speech. Philip, thank you so much to be with us. The floor is yours.
Yeah, hello, Hans Martin. Hello, everybody from Paradise. I'm very happy to address you all and to wish you a very good meeting, a very good session. The Peace and Snow initiative for me as the mayor of Davos and also as a parliamentary of the Canton Graubünden is maybe a perfect combination of, I think, very important values. I mean, first of all, of course, Davos or Graubünden, we are world's #1 resort for alpine or cross-country skiing, of course, which usually attracts people from all over the world, brings them together here in one place. And on the other hand, we are a very diverse place, a place where people from all around the world not only come here for visiting, for holiday, but also to live and to work. For example, in our important research institutions such as the AO Foundation or the World Radiation Center and the Swiss Institute for Allergy and Asthma Research, and of course also in one of our important health institutions. I think all these different parts or these different things we have or are here in Davos, besides of course a lot of snow we have also this kind of diversity, knowledge, social interaction, and I think this kind of creates a really exciting spirit and an important resourceful framework to talk about peace in the world. And I think that is something I, as the mayor of Davos, I'm very proud of. And so I'm also very proud and happy that such initiatives like yours are launched here in Davos, and I will be very glad to hear more about the POS and the ideas during 2021. I surely will stay in touch with Hans-Martin, with the POS, and of course I'm very sorry about the fact that today, unfortunately, I cannot stay any longer. There's actually a good reason for that, because first I have to go to swear in the new members of our school board. A very important task I need to fulfill this afternoon, and afterwards I go to talk to a school class about a young person like me becoming the mayor with only 32 years, and hopefully inspire the young people to be active and engaged as well, maybe the way you all are. So I wish you all a very good conference, a very good session, and I really look forward to hearing more from the POS. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mayor of Davos, Philip, that you have this time and spend with us and with this such nice word. It's a big, let's say, power to go forward for this very nice session which we will have. Thank you so much.
Thank you all, and goodbye.
So the next speaker which we would like to invite on the stage will be Carl. And Carl also, he's part of the founder of Peace and Snow. And I'm very happy to have him here, that he extra comes also from Sweden, you know, with Michael together, of course. And so I just would like to share the platform now with Carl. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very, very much, Hans-Martin. Can you hear me? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much, Hans-Martin. It has been a fantastic time working together for 1 year now. The first event we had in Davos with all these fantastic people around us, filled with energy. This is something that is going to fly. And we started off there in a situation where we thought that WEF needed some refreshment, some new thoughts about how to move ahead. So we drew it a bit and thought that if WEF stands still, if you don't move, you're going to lose in the end. So I don't know if WEF would lose, but at least it's in Singapore right now. Anyway, so we had a free floor to work on, and I think it's fantastic in that aspect also with all the guys here all over the globe, that it's a chance, I think, for us. My background, as a few of you maybe know, that I've been building quite a lot of companies in my life onto the stock exchange, by the way. But and I wanted to contribute with that into this post in the way I could do it. And I think it is very, very possible that we can make a mother of this organization in Davos, and also have some satellites established in a new way to do that. So let's work on that and see what we can do. I think it's the winning concept also for Davos. And then I think that we will get into the process now in the leadership of Michael and the team leaders. And I know Michael from my bottom of my heart again. And I know he's a real professional in this. I'm really looking forward to that. And all the contribution you're going to do, we'll try to get it more concrete this time. So as you know, that there are several different groups to be working together ahead. That is going to bring this into an organization that is operating and working. So thank you very, very much, all these guys that are on board all over the globe, contributing to this fantastic.
We're up now.
So thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Carl, for this nice word. It's really inspiring all of us, and bring peace on snow. You'll start forward, and with your knowledge and everything. I would like to say for Mariam and Brett, I mean, this was really the possibility to start Peace on Snow. We are so grateful for that Mariam and Brett from Altru Institute gave us the chance last year on the World Economic Forum, you know, that we could make the kickoff of Peace on Snow in such an environment of all these kind of business leaders and top politicians and so on. And for this, without Altru Institute, it never will be happen that. And for this, really, we are really, really thankful for that, and very gratitude to you, Mariam and Brett. So please have some words on that. And we are really happy to have you on board. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
First of all, Hans Martin, happy birthday. I think we should all sing happy birthday to Hans Martin before we start. Happy birthday to you, Hans Martin. So this is amazing. We've created a new world, I think, Hans Martin. Look at us all zooming in from every corner of the world. I think that is what the World Economic Forum was attempting to do from the very beginning. And I was fortunate to have a home in Klosters and to have met Hans Martin and my experience at the United Nations, and finally creating the Altru Institute with Brett, and really about altruism. And altruism is what we're all doing now. Every one of us now is an altruist. And I think it's a very meaningful sense of celebrating the new year. And of course, Davos is the epitome of the world during this time usually. So Hans Martin, you really sort of spearheaded this, your energy, your focus, your vision, and you know, it inspired all of us. And I think something that we started to continue during the World Economic Forum has sprouted into something much more meaningful now. And I'm really happy to be part of it. And it's just it's a wonderful feeling of inner joy that I think we're all sharing together. And as you said, we've all done it without any financial burden, any financial cost to any of us. So thank you. Thank you for making it happen. And let's continue the vision together. Right.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mariam, for those remarks. And thank you, Hans Martin. Really, you helped make our effort there in Davos happen as well, with the clubhouse there on the promenade and all the great work you did to help that all happen. So you really as much we thank you for helping us get that. And just in terms of, you know, the Altru Institute, as to what we do, we created this with the notion that the world's complex problems and challenges can be solved, but they require collaboration. And so our notion is that if we can identify those complex challenges and then identify the organizations and the groups that are trying to solve those same challenges, we can foster collaboration among those groups, we can make great progress. And essentially, if each group can improve their performance by 5% because of improved communications and collaborations, in the aggregate, we can make a very big impact. And that's really what is the fundamental notion behind it. We started in doing our annual meeting in Klosters Davos 4 years ago. And last year was obviously in Davos at the clubhouse on the promenade. And there was where we brought together some really terrific panels and speakers of thought leaders. And this is where also Peace on Snow
did its inaugural meeting. Coming out of the meeting in Davos last year, we identified climate really was the most significant challenge facing all of us in the world, and one where we felt we could make a significant impact, again, through this notion of information transfer and technology identification. And so we began to work on a project called the Climate Project. And the Climate Project simply was the idea to try to put in one place, or just to create an aggregating point of all the best ideas that can address the climate challenge. And we were beginning to get that all up and rolling, and we had a campaign called Bend the Curve, Bend the Climate Curve. And then the COVID hit. And so we had to realize that there was another big problem now, a complex problem that's come along, and that is obviously COVID. And so we pivoted towards the Virus Project. And the Virus Project essentially is the same notion. Identify all the different technologies and ideas and solutions to address COVID, and try to foster that connectivity. And so our website is thevirusproject.org or Altru Institute. You can see what we've done. We've been aggregating information and sort of the best of information on the virus and how to do that. And in that regard, we begin to identify specific technologies that we think can be game changers. An example is one that we're looking at now, which is a device that can convert COVID or any pathogen and even carbon dioxide into pure air. We think it can be a game changer in regard to that. So that's a new technology, a new company that we're trying to develop and to see if we can help foster their progress. So another element of what we're doing is one of our programs now is a program for schools. We've launched a white paper that is about reopening schools and keeping them open. And the notion there is that there are technologies now that didn't exist 6 months ago that should enable us to reopen schools and keep schools open. And so what we're doing there is we're doing a case study into schools that are trying some of these new technologies and these approaches to see if we can't build a model that we can share with the world so that schools can open. So that's a couple examples of what we do. We're delighted to be part of this, and Hans Martin, for all your great work and the exciting program you put together. And so, we're delighted to be here, and thank you for letting us be part of this. All right.
And we miss Davos a lot. I wish I was there.
Thank you so much for this nice word, and I'm sure
it will happen next year that we will be all on snow, and it's not just my work, to be honest with you. I mean, I just get connected with some cosmic internet. I just have the right Wi-Fi and the right password, to be here. And that all these people are coming together, to share their experience and do this on the free will. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, this is in this world where everybody is just drilling for money and so, that this positive impulse will create this amount of people are coming together. It's I just can say gratitude. And thank you so much that you have time to be with us, to share this. Last year, you shared it with us. Now it's opposite, but it's so nice to have you here. Thank you so much. The next speak will be, it's very important, because what is peace on snow? It's snow. It's relating to snow. And we have really one of the best scientific person about snow with us, and it's a great honor to have him here from the Fraunhofer Institute of Germany to be with us in this group. I really welcome Matthias Scherge. As I said on the beginning, we don't have any titles. We are not in penguin dress, you see, and we are just like we are as a human being, and that's why, Matthias, I just would like to introduce you self, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Before I start, some technical issues. Everybody hear me, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, and then I try to, it's a little bit of hard transition now, because as a scientist, I need a PowerPoint presentation, and that's why I try to share my screen, what I do now. And please tell me when you see the front page of my presentation.
Yes, can see it.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, almost a week ago, Hans Martin asked me to provide the audience a deeper view into snow. And this is at the same time, this is a great honor for me. And also it is a challenge. The challenge is because when we have a look at the map of Davos, we see Heierling's Schuhgeschäft, his shop, and about 250 meters from there is the Institute für Schnee- und Lawinenforschung, the Swiss Avalanche Research Institute, SLF. And actually these guys, they are the gurus of snow. And it's again a great honor for me to talk about snow. And as they have a lot of experience about natural snow, we have a lot of experience about artificial snow. And that's why my talk is more or less about artificial snow used in skiing competitions. And I will provide you with some examples on snow and to measurement of snow and how we treat snow as a base for skiing. Our snow activities comprise lab work and field testings. In the lab, we have 4 machines where we can produce snow and measure friction. Friction is the resistance you experience when you go down a slope with your skis. And we have also research going on in meteorology. You see this in the middle. This young person has all his equipment down at the competition site. He measures temperature and snow humidity and solar radiation. And from this, we gather our knowledge to go into field testing in terms of ski tests. You see all the 20, 25 skis prepared for competition. And before testing, no one knows how good they are. And that's why we have to go to testing. And when we put it all together, we have also athletes that follow us. The gentleman on the right-hand side is Ricardo Adaraga from Spain. He's one of the fastest skiers, and we did some preparations with him, and also Hans Martin was also involved. So these are some sort of our activities. I personally belong to the Fraunhofer Research Society and have the honor to conduct a research center with about 100 people at the moment. And we work in 8 groups, and one of those groups is devoted to skiing and luge competition on snow and ice. There are different types of snow for competition and training. And the top row shows 4 different types. And on the bottom of the page, you see the temperature diagram. What skiers fear the most is actually natural snow. You see on the left-hand side, you still see snowflakes, the nice hexagonal form. This is complicated because these are tiny crystals. Sometimes they are aggressive, and at the moment there's almost no remedy against this. And so as soon as it starts to snow in competition, they fear this, and this is almost a catastrophe. They love to ski. The third photo from the left-hand side, this is snow in competition. Here we have very nice temperatures below 0, about 10 degrees minus, and this is artificial snow coming from snow machines. And these are round snow crystals, snow grains, and gliding on this is much easier than on the left-hand side. In the middle, there is snow around the freezing points. You see water between the snow grains. This is also not so easy to handle. And on the right-hand side, this is actually snow, what they love best. I took this photo on the Dachstein Glacier in June. And because this snow has experienced a lot of transforming step, you see that the snow grains have a size of almost half a centimeter. And on the left-hand side, this is just 1/10 of a centimeter, of a millimeter, excuse me. But here we have very huge snow grains, and it's very easy. It's almost effortless to glide on them, and it's much fun to glide on this type of snow. The bad story begins in fall, when the athletes with such an experience come in contact to real snow. In the real world, you see, okay, snow is so different, and sometimes we have to cope with new types of snow, and this brings them back to Earth. Snow undergoes transformations. You can see here 10 days of transformation. At day 1, this is fresh snow. You can still see the single snowflakes. The temperature is a little bit below 0. At the 3 days, there's a transformation process going on. The snow is compact. You see still edgy snow crystals, but you see also the appearance of round crystals or snow grains. And this is actually a transformed snow. After day 6, we experience some rain. The temperature is warm and the snow temperature is around the freezing point. Then we have more and more water between the snow grains. And at day 10, here we have very cold conditions. The water between the grains starts to freeze out, and we see compacted snow with frozen water. And when this process goes on for 2 or 3 months, like it does on a glacier, we end up with snow grains of the size I showed before from the Dachstein Glacier. So this, there are 10 days in the life of snow. For competition, we have to do a lot of research for snow analysis. And what we want to know before the competition, and this photo shows measurements before the Olympics 2014 in Russia. We measured air temperature, humidity, snow temperature, snow humidity, solar radiation, snow grain size. We did a lot of microscopy around the stadium. And when this is done, we can come up with an idea to tell the technicians this type of ski would be the best, or this type of grinding structure is the best, or this type of wax has to be chosen to be the winner. And this is necessary to go with a good feeling into competition.
I think that's okay.
Throughout all the years, we collected so many data, and you can see a fraction of the data on the left-hand side. This is our snow database. We have measurements of the snow microscopy showing these nice blue images. We measured the temperature, humidity, and we also measured friction, so the resistance a skier experiences when sliding down a hill. And after doing so, we have complex diagrams where we show snow temperature and humidity, and also friction, dynamics.
Yes. Sorry, we have to follow the program. We're a little bit running out of time.
I have 1 or 2, and then I'm done. And this actually is my last. When we have all the data together, we can go to a stadium. This is the biathlon stadium in Oberhof, where we can measure the solar radiation, and we can equip this track with all the snow microscopy and all the data. And this is necessary to bring the terrain and snow together to go for a competition. And with my very last slide, I give you some piece of snow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthias, for this very interesting view about snow, about artificial snow. Everything has to do with snow here. So I think this was a very good view into the scientific world of today. But we also would like to share a little bit on a different way about snow, about the snow crystal, about the Euro code of the universe. Why? What was written the program for snow, you know, to create a snowflake. And for this, we have also a very interesting person with us. This is Rasmus von Berghaus and from Aquaquinta. And he's an absolutely specialist in water because he had the possibility to share the wisdom together with Masuro Emoto, and he was an amazing guy in science about water. So Rasmus, it's a great honor to have you also here in our round on Peace on Snow. Thank you so much to be with us. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the invitation. Yeah, well, my work is a little bit different. Some people know maybe the work. I continue the work of Dr. Emoto. Maybe you heard about this gentleman from Japan. He has been quite criticized because he's not a scientist like other people working with water, because he made many very interesting claims. I'd love to share my screen a little bit. I hope. Okay, you have deactivated this. I cannot share my screen. The host has to activate this. I can't do that. So maybe you can do that. I can try again. Okay, now I can do this too. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, well, about Emoto, you heard about this gentleman. I can make it a little bit bigger. My background is water chemistry. I studied 10 years in different universities in Europe, in the States, in Central America, everything I could find about water and water chemistry. And then I stumbled over this gentleman, Emoto. I thought this is completely esoteric nonsense. He said that if you play special frequencies to water, it would change the quality of water. And I thought, what a hoax can be. Anyways, I met him. He invited me to Japan, and I was able to go through his work. I tried every day to prove him wrong, and many of his claims are, of course, not so scientific. But one thing I could see is that if I play harmonic sounds to water, I get harmonic pictures. And this is something very interesting. What we have lost in our science is, I can just show here, go a little bit back. Maybe you heard about this gentleman from Austria, Victor Schauberger. He got very famous. He claimed that if you can change the structure of water. And today we know it is true. I've been more than 40 times in Russia in my life. I worked a lot over there, and there's a lot of research going on. And we know that our body liquids is also mainly water. And if we get acid, if we get sour, we change our body pH. And we can see that by vibration, we can change the body pH of our body. And this is very simple. If you think of something negative, you get acid on your body on a cellular level. And the interesting thing is that we can also see out of the structure under the microscope a kind of quality. Of course, this research is very, we can say in children steps, not that developed yet, but we can see that things what Schauberger claimed and what we can see in harmonics, or what we use, for example, if I go a little bit further, many people of you maybe use homeopathic remedies. And you can say homeopathy is completely nonsense. There is nothing inside chemically, and you charge money for this. But the interesting thing is, if you look under the microscope, you see huge differences. And the interesting thing is that Hahnemann, he used musical proportions, which are mathematical intervals, and which are not coincident. So he knew about this. So we are looking for different things, and we can see this. This was a study I can show here, which I did with the St. Petersburg University, where we played sound to be distilled water, chemical pure water. Of course, you could say, what crystal do you pick? But you can see with or without music, there is a change. So the water reacts on vibration. I just jump a little bit back and forward because I did not know what all I should show. Anyways, Dr. Emoto, he started something, got very famous. His books were translated in over 40 languages. He gave lectures in Saudi Arabia. I went with him to Saudi Arabia, next day to Tel Aviv, and next day to Bethlehem. And even if all the people were fighting or still are fighting and are in conflict, the beauty is that they all reacted somehow the same. And there's a kind of truth behind this. I would call it the truth of beauty. And this is my work I'm doing. I'm always still skeptical and always wondering, but I see if I play sound to water, I can literally see under the microscope how it changes. And I can just recommend to any scientist who says, Emoto, this is nonsense. It's great. This is what we scientists have to do. We have to prove it wrong. But when we see that there is a difference, then go for it and go deeper into this matter. And this is what is very, very interesting. And I can show you, let's say these are books. Emoto wrote many books, as you see. This is how we work. And the interesting thing is all around the world, no matter if you're from, from Saudi Arabia or from Switzerland or from Spain or from South America, people distinguished between holy water, special waters, and normal water. And either they are all completely insane, or they had a knowledge that there is a difference which can not only be described on chemical matter, because the structure, the information is something very special. And I would just at the end, very simple, that you understand a little bit of magic about between form and shape and sound. It's very simple. I made a lot of work about ultrasounds and pregnant women and the structure, but I don't have time for this. Maybe just a little question: why do you pay for a Stradivari $1 million and for a plastic violin just a few euro? It's the same sound, because the sound itself is big difference in the harmonics, in the qualities. And if we go here and just see, we can, this is a beautiful showing from Lauterwasser. You see, you show 30 Hertz. And even if you apply the same vibration, the water changes, which means the water can react on any vibration. You see the same vibration, which we can apply just into 4 digits below 0. And anyways, the water can react on this. So the water has the ability to change vibration into form. And it's no esoteric, it's just physics, nothing else. But you can say the physics of the nature of the universe is of course beautiful and is so amazing. So we can, and this is why we have no snowflakes on the universe which are the same, never. And we never get 2 children which are the same, because the moment the fertilized egg starts to divide, the vibration surrounding the egg is unique, and you will always get a unique child. That is what life is all about. But here, just at the very end, it's very nice to show a little bit. We can go into the Fibonacci and all this. I don't have time to show you this. But we are 2/3 water, and 2/3 is music. Is, if you divide a string by 2/3, is the 5th, which means we are vibrating in the 5th, in the quint. We say the quintessence. So the interval of the 5th in music is what affects us the most, heals us the most. We say quintessence. And the interesting thing is, if you take a circle with 360 degrees, let's just assume it would be 360 Hertz. You could hear it. And now the interesting thing is the pentagram is 540 Hertz. Yes, we have 5 fingers. And the interval of the circle or the square to the pentagram is exactly the interval of the 5th. So the interesting is, we are geometry, we are numbers, we are, of course, much more, but we are harmonics. And the 6 is 3 times 120 is 720. And it's interesting, it's exactly the octave, the double of the circle. And we get the hexagon, and the hexagon is the shape of matter. Matter, in English you say maybe it doesn't matter, that's the funny thing too. But anyways, is that the bee cave, or the 6, that's where water materializes itself in the form. And so this is my work, what I'm doing a lot, and I love this work. The work what I do today goes further. We translate the heart frequency into sound and light, and we can see how the people interact by their heart. So we can literally see that what communicates between 2 people is not the brain. The brain will always divide us. We will fight and we will make our walls and we will have our conditioned mind. But the interesting thing is, even if you're black or white or Arabic or Christian or whatever you are, the 2 hearts always wants to get coherent. And the interesting is the body liquid is reacting on that. And that is what we are doing. We're making research with this. And yeah, so this was a very short, sorry if I'm too fast, that's the way how but I just want to show you. And of course, Snow and Peace is beautiful, because we can see that, yeah, that how to say, the people react the same, no matter where we work. We can see in the harmonic structure, we have the same, how to say, the same response. And you don't need to have a different or the same, let's say, background or knowledge. The reaction is the same from the people. So it's beautiful. Snow and earth, great. Thank you. Peace and snow.
Rasmus, thank you so much for this very, very interesting speech and deck you show us. I mean, this is really inspiring all of us, and on a different view. I just can say thanks a lot that you're sharing this wonderful wisdom with us. We were skiing and we felt exactly the same. No? So we are on the right path. Thank you so much. So for the next introduction will be, this will last a little bit longer, because I think this is really essential for Peace on Snow to understand what's happened from the subtle impact. Let's say we just talk a bit. So it's about the subtle impact. How important is it? Because everything starts from subtle and will materialize in the gross. And we get connected to the cosmic internet and yeah, have the right password. So that's the password. I will give over now to Sean Clark from the Perth Spiritual University in India. And it's a great honor to have you here, Sean. And I see you're also with us in ski clothes. It's really nice, so we can share together. Thank you so much for your time, for your great work. I will hand over the floor to you.
Thank you, Hans Martin, and happy birthday. So I'd like to start by just telling you a bit about myself. Having served in the armed forces and thereafter working in the corporate world, and then having lived in the Spiritual Research Center and Spiritual University for over a decade, I can say that I've been privy to many leadership styles over the years. And I spent 3 formative years of my life at the National Defense Academy, which is the cradle of military leadership for the Indian Armed Forces. And there the motto was service before self. And this motto, when practiced, really encapsulates an ideal attitude for leaders for any time and any culture. But it was at the Spiritual University where I truly experienced service before self. And in fact, something beyond that when observing the leadership style of His Holiness Dr. Attavale. And at that point in time, I understood that I was in a place where there was really thought leadership about leadership. And while it's just really how leadership should be, we called it spiritual leadership, as it really is unique and presents a different way of thinking, which is much needed in today's world. In short, for me, I think leadership should really be something that paves the way for a better world. Today, I would like to just share with you some of the insights into this type of leadership and how it can be applied to your sphere of influence. So at its core, it really has 3 parts. The first part is skill, experience, qualities required to do the task or the project, which basically is professionalism. The second part is thinking about others, which is really the first step to actually having love for others. And the third aspect is increasing spiritual positivity, or at the very minimum, not adding to the negativity of the world. So with regards to professionalism, the importance of the skill, the experience, the qualities required will of course differ as per the field or as per the discipline. For example, in the armed forces, in wartime, you would need courage and bravery as a core quality. In accounting, you would need an eye for detail. Or like for, let's say, you're in event management, you would be planning and project management skills. Even in the field of spirituality, an evolved person or a leader should be able to guide others towards experiencing higher and higher levels of spiritual experiences. Now, if you look at the world around us, there really is no shortage in terms of skill. But even so, the world around us is in a pretty grim state. We have divided nations, violent demonstrations, refugee crisis, pandemic, climate change, war. This is our world today. So really just skill and professionalism may make you a lot of money, but it's not going to get about a better world to live in. And this is where the next 2 aspects actually come into play. A leader, for starters, really needs to think about others. He needs to have the empathy and understanding and love not only for others, but for animals, plants, and the environment too. Nurturing an increase in this basic quality will set all leaders on a path of making better decisions and policies that are far more sustainable for humankind and Mother Earth. And if we do a little reflection, you will see that this one single change we make in our attitude as a leader can literally have no limit to the amount of, or the positive changes that we can actually happen in our sphere of influence. But thinking of others needs to go beyond that and go hand in hand with increasing spiritual purity, which is the third aspect of leadership. And I want to take a step back and share with you a fundamental concept about ancient Indian culture. And everything, I mean literally everything emits subtle vibrations depending on their subtle composition. And apart from just physical things, even intangible things such as our thoughts emit subtle vibrations. So let's say emotions such as anger, greed, jealousy will emit negative vibrations. On the other hand, emotions such as love, without expectation, kindness, and a selfless attitude emits positive vibrations. I'd like to share a slide with you to show you what I mean by this. And this is basically at the very most basic level. Everything is made up of the three subtle components, which are sattva, raja, and tama. And these subtle components cannot be seen, but they're the most basic building blocks of everything in the universe. Sattva stands for spiritual purity and spiritual knowledge, not worldly knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Tama stands for inertia and spiritual ignorance, and raja is about action. So when sattva combines with raja, there is a spread of positivity. And when tama combines with raja, there is a spread of negativity. I'll stop sharing now, and I want to continue my presentation. The question is, why are these components so important? And this is because when there is spiritual positivity, there is automatically wellness at an individual level. And at the level of society, people live in peace and harmony. And this is where we have elevated consciousness. It basically sets us up for success, which is not at the cost of others. And really, it puts the humanity back into humans. And when there is an increase in negative vibrations, it has negative and tarnishing effect that extends to every aspect of life. It basically sets up the environment for us to act out and experience a lower version of ourselves. It can cause depression, ill health, addictions, to name a few issues. So just as we have physical pollutions that affect us, we have spiritual pollution that also affects us. And at the level of society, negative vibrations basically make situations worse and just increases the ills in society, such as violence, corruption, racial tensions, crime, lack of law and order. Now, actually, we all have the ability to perceive these vibrations. In fact, I'm quite sure all of you have perceived such vibrations. For example, have you ever been to a place or met someone you didn't feel good about and you passed some comments saying like, oh, that place is really creepy, or that person's really creepy, I didn't like that person. Or if one felt positive, the comment would be, what a nice person. I really felt rejuvenated in his company or at his home. What we're actually doing is making a judgment call based on the vibrations we're feeling. And nowadays, with the advancements of technology, we have instruments that can actually identify and measure such vibrations to a certain extent. And I'd like to share a concept with you with regards to an experiment. So we conducted an experiment where we actually tried to measure the spiritual vibrations emitted by 4 leaders in the world, and that was a dictator and acclaimed CEO, a political head of a country, and a saint of a higher spiritual level. And basically, we use something known as a universal aura scanner to measure the vibrations emitted by the photographs of the 4 leaders. So this is an instrument that can basically measure an object, whether it's emitting positive vibrations or negative vibrations, and it was developed by a former nuclear scientist in India. And we've conducted over 10,000 such experiments, and the readings we can say are fairly accurate because we actually cross-check them with actually advanced sixth sense also. So in this slide, we show the readings that we've obtained from the pictures. Now, both the dictator and the CEO had high negative vibrations. Now, I know it's understandable. Dictator, negative vibrations, absolutely possible. But negative vibrations from one of the most acclaimed CEOs of the world came to me as a surprise. Apart from the saint who emitted a high level of positivity, none of the other leaders had any positive energy. Even in the total measured aura criteria from the photographs, the saint's aura was much higher than all of them. Now, this is an important point. If a person emits negative vibrations, then it's most likely that their decision-making will be affected. Now, don't get me wrong. They will make a lot of money, but the way they go about doing it will not be good for the people or the environment. And to illustrate this, I would like to share with you another experiment. We conducted an experiment on 3 authors of spiritual books to understand the effect of the author has on their book. And even though the topic is same, and in this case it was spirituality, the question was to understand this experiment is the effect of the person on their product. So I'll share my screen again. So here we have the 3 authors. The first is a spiritual guide that has sold millions of books and has been on the New York bestseller list. The second author is an average person who does not claim to be a spiritual guide, but who writes spiritual books and has sold millions of books on the New York bestseller list. And the third is a higher level saint from India, and the book that we looked at has sold thousands of copies. Now, the instrument that we used to assess these books was basically something known as a PIP, or polycontrast interference photography. Is basically an energy field video imaging process. It interprets positive and negative auras. And so we took the reading of all these books with the help of the PIP. And this is a picture of the output of that PIP. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into details, but the main thing I want you to understand and to notice, if you can see different colors in each of these pictures. Different colors basically means different vibrations, and each color actually represents a positive or a negative vibration. Now, we collated all the colors and measured the area that they took up on the chart, and the graph looks like this. Black, of course, is the negative aspect, and positive is the yellow. And you'll see that the negativity in that space in the room went up with the spiritual guide and the average author's book when that was placed. And the higher level saint's book was kept, the vibrations of a higher level was found to be emitted. Now, a thought may cross your mind. What has this experiment got to be or with leadership? And the answer is it has everything to do with leadership. This may be a very simple experiment, but the findings give us much to think about as the human race. Sometimes we run after ratings. Buy a book because it's on some bestseller list. But from this experiment, you can see that just by being on the bestseller list does not make a book spiritually good for one. Moreover, if a person emits negative vibrations, the output of that person and his decisions will be negatively affected. And why this experiment is so important for us is because the principle that it highlights can be leveraged across any field. It could be the products and services that our company makes. Do they emit negative or positive vibrations? Have we given any thought to this? when designing our company logo, which gets displayed all over the world, does it emit negative vibrations or positive vibrations? It could be the clothes that we wear, the food that we eat, the music that we listen to, the policies that we make. Think of any aspect of life, and this principle is relevant. Now, my next point comes to our mind is that really so bad? And the answer to this is that every negative stimulus that we expose ourselves to or the world to continues to add as a layered negative effect on us. And when we are exposed to negative vibrations, we may feel lethargic, we may be filled with negative thoughts or feel depressed, or we may have lack of clarity, and all the time not understanding the source of it. And from what our research has shown, one of the main reasons why the world is in its current state is because there are more man-made things that emit negative vibrations than positive vibrations. And this is because people themselves in today's world, by their thoughts and actions, generate more negative vibrations than positive vibrations. This is the unfortunate truth of it. On the other hand, if the environment is positive, it positively affects the flora, the fauna, the premises that we live in. Now, the Spiritual Research Center and Spiritual University is a place where spiritual leadership is practiced top down and bottom up. Every person in the Spiritual University, due to the leadership of His Holiness Dr. Artavle, practices thinking about others and ensures that their thoughts and actions generate positive vibrations, and they actively work moment to moment to increase positivity and eliminate negativity. Now, I'd like to share with you a couple of examples to demonstrate how this affects the environment. Okay, so the first slide I'm going to share with you is a chart where we measured water running through the same municipal pipe and the same pipe down the road where the university is. And on the left-hand side, you'll see two houses and two temples next to the University and Spiritual Research Center. And on the right, you'll see premises and rooms within the Spiritual Research Center and the kind of positive vibrations that and auras that we actually got. Now, just remember, mind you, this is the same pipe, the same municipal water supply. But the properties of the water change in terms of its positivity once it goes through premises that are already charged with positivity. So this is one interesting thing. Now, mind you, we've looked at over 400 to 500 samples of water worldwide. And the drinking water, which is exactly from the same tap that was placed in His Holiness Dr. Artavle's room, showed the highest amount of positive vibrations from all samples worldwide. Okay. Going to the next slide, very quickly. These are 6 trees that we measured, 3 outside the ashram, that's 1, 2, 3 outside the Spiritual Research Center, and 3 inside. This is a graph, only positive energy from the trees inside, none from the trees outside. This is the outside the university premises, again, inside the university premises. You can see there's a sharp difference in the amount of energy. And the last one I'd like to share with you is what happens when a leader starts to display a lot of positive energy. Now, mind you, this is a video that was taken where we actually wanted to measure the aura of His Holiness Dr. Artavle. Now, just to quickly share with you, a person's aura is generally about 1 to 2 meters as per the UAS instrument. But you can see we've got a drone now following the operator. And I'm going to start fast forwarding this as it's going to take too long. So can you see? Yeah? Sorry. Am I sharing my screen?
No, we see you.
Okay, I'm sorry. share my screen. And okay. Can you see that now?
Yes.
So you can see the UAS has opened out. That means it's detected an aura, and the operator starts walking backwards. And as you can see, generally, as I said, a person's aura is about 1 to 2 meters. The operator still continued to, we had to take it on a highway because it was not happening in the research center. I'm going to quickly go back now and fast forward the screen. Okay, and we have a drone actually following the operator. And the UAS instrument has still not closed, so he continues to walk back. Okay, I'm continuing to walk back, continuing to walk back. Okay. And somewhere around here, the UAS, okay, it's still not open, it's still not closed. Okay, it's closed now. I'm going to let the video play in normal speed and look at the camera, how far the operator traversed from where His Holiness Dr. Attavale was sitting. And I think what I'm trying to show you in this is once you actually practice spiritual leadership right from the very within you, you know, you automatically start to grow as a person and you start to affect everyone around you spiritually and at a positive level. So I would like to leave you with one very important point, that is to basically generate any spiritual positive vibration. It starts with you, and the buck stops with you, then it starts with you. And the only way you can do this is really to start spiritual practice that is based on universal principles. And one of the easiest practices that you can do to help build positivity is chanting the name of God. And you can do it anytime, any place in your mind. And to find out more about spiritual practice as per universal principles and how to generate positivity, please do contact Hans Martin and join our meetings and workshops. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, John, for this very interesting deck and speech which you had. I think it's really something which we all can learn a lot in this environment which we are all in at the moment. So it was really helpful, you know, to get a little bit a different view for this positivity. What does it mean, positivity, and so. And I just have to say again, thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
So we will go further to the next level, and this will be a skier representative. This will be Stefan Olofsson. Is that right? Yeah. Stefan Olofsson, exactly. And he is, I think you have to say, because you're more close to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Stefan is in the company or the organization Ski is accredited. I would say he's one of the most well-developed skiers that we have ever seen, and he has the kindest of heart, and he works with conscious skiing, actually be aware of what your whole body and mind is doing when you ski. And he skis like a cat. He's fantastic. So the stage is yours, Stefan.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Mr. Heiling, and happy birthday, Mr. Heiling. Yes, I'm Stefan Olofsson of the Skiers Accredited, and since we are the skiing partner of Peace on Snow, it's great to say a few words. Skiers Accredited is the only network in the world that integrates network and personal development in skiing. We are 25 mentors who are in the greatest environment, sharing our passion together with skiing people on the journey of friendship with skiing, what we call life skiing. There are as many skiers, there are as many ways of skiers as the way of handling a slope. When the skier's consciousness opens up, there are many options for choosing different routes down the mountain. With increased awareness, a skier increases his or her ability to read and interpret the secret of the mountain. Tactical skill will allow skiers to make conscious choices that guides them to the smoothest ride down the mountain. The skier's world is infinite, and each valley has its own mountain. Each mountain is unique, with its own history and marked by nature in its own way. Some mountains are taller than others, but it could be the smallest that has the most mystery and arouses the strongest feeling in the skier. The skier respect and accept each and every mountain, finds the joy and affinity because a skier appreciates the small things in greatness and sees greatness in small things. When we are on skis, speed and movement in balance, united with the mountain and the snow, a life among alpine friends. Life skiing is seeing unity, how mountain, snow, the skier and life interact and have a harmony and equilibrium. It gives development, joy and human growth. The whole is greater than its parts. I'm happy to grow on snow. Thank you.
So great, Stefan. Thank you so much for these nice words and you know, to reflect a little bit what you can do on top of snow with ski, and you know, to bring this movement, let's say this peace movement, also in a movement on ski. And I think this is so excellent to bridge this over all these elements which we are just learning now with all these speeches and also with our mayor and everything, to integrate that in our personal movement. So therefore, we are a little bit out of time, but it's still okay. It's still acceptable, or in the studio. So I would like to give the word now to Michael, because he brings down, as I said, I start from the subtle, and now we have to bring down to the gross, you know, to organize, to give some structure in the organization. So I would like to give the word now to Michael to organize this kind of work groups, and we will see us next time at 4 o'clock. Yeah, Michael, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would also like to say a happy birthday to Hans Martin, but also a happy birthday to Peace on Snow. That will today turn 1 year old. Started as an initiative over a coffee table, and now we are here, and we had to say no to over 100 people who was wanted to be a part of this today, but we could not handle that. Hopefully our dream is next year we will have at least 500 persons here physically, and we will also have a satellite somewhere in the world, maybe in Sweden, maybe in Spain, or maybe in Japan, or wherever. That's been a year of trying to talk to each other and spread the word and get people activated to help us to build this. And it's been a great year in that essence, but now we're here. When I woke up this morning, it was snowing outside, and it's been doing that for 3 or 4 days here in Davos. And for me, when I woke up in the morning, look out the window, I see this white gold falling down from the sky. It's a fast breakfast. And on with your clothes and up with the ski lift, and you click on your skis. In this case, with some very lovely and good friends, you started to ski down the mountain. And in this case, the slope is 13 kilometers long. So it is 13 kilometers, sort of slowly and very joyfully skiing down the white powder. Stop sometime, get some air, talk to your friends, and just experience this moment in nature in a fantastic place. I personally think that very many more people should have the opportunity to experience this in life and be a part of what we are trying to do, trying to create peace on snow. So we will do the next year, there will be active people building organization around it to get it working. And we will soon do that in the workshops, where we have every workshop have fantastic team leaders, and they will take care of us. There will be no further instructions from the studio, but they will take care of you guys. But before that, something very extraordinary happened. Just, I think it was four weeks ago. I ran into an old client that I worked with for maybe 20 years ago, and he asked me, "What are you doing, Michael?" Well, I explained about peace on snow and what we're trying to achieve and so on. And then one of the guys here, Mats, who's behind the control board now for the studio, he said, "Well, you should actually check this out. Those guys, they are making sort of jewelry and stuff like that. And they have created something really, really fantastic for us. I don't know if you can see this. You have it on the screen also. They have created a bracelet for us. And the bracelet in itself is made of used PET bottles. But the most interesting thing is the logotype that's on there in a very special metal. This metal is called humanium. And it's created by police taken illegal weapons, destructed, grinded, and turned into a metal powder. This metal powder you put into a 3D printer for metal, and we did this, and here's a logo printed in that very, very special metal. And it's a privilege for us, and we personally think it's very, very beautiful. You have the address on your screen. You can buy it there, and the 100 euro of that will go into to start to build this foundation. So please, guys, help us to get this thing started. Buy one for yourself, your kids, your grandmother, or whatever. Please go and have a check and buy one of those, and we will be very happy. And we'll use it for good means. So I would also like to, at the end of this session now, I will give one to my friend Hans Martin, who started this, and then it came my dear friend Carl. He came and helped us a lot when we started off with the together with the princess last year. And I would also like to give one to Mats for please helping us do this thing. All the tech stuff that I don't have a clue about. That's what I wanted to say about this humanium and the logotype made of this very special metal. So now, guys, I will ask you to step.
Just one thing. This is a really good expression to see how negativity can go in positivity. Right.
That's very, yeah, that's good. I forgot that, but it was very nice of you to say that. That's very good. So now we have time for the workshop. You have your links where you should go. You have team leaders and they know what to do. And please be back at 4 o'clock. And when you do this, have the respect for the time, both in the rooms, but also when you get back here. We wish you the best of luck. And what you're doing now is creating an intellectual ground for peace on snow that we will keep on working with to make this come alive physically, we hope, next year in Davos and in other places. Thank you very much and good luck.
I end this meeting.